Happy Monday, LPES. Unless you're seeing this on Tuesday, in which case, happy Tuesday. But I hope either way you're having an awesome week of respect. I hope that if you've already seen Josh Dream's great presentation on Monday morning, that you really got something out of it and that it gave you a great message and a great kickoff to our week of respect here at LPES. So you might remember, if you're in first, second, third, or fourth grade, last year we did video podcasts and I sent them out during the week of respect. And there were nice ways for me to feel like we got to connect with each other because I can't really be in all classes at once. So what I'm going to do is we're going to have these videos together for this whole week. Well, there'll be 5 of them. This is day number 1. And throughout these video podcasts, we're going to talk about different ways that we can be respectful, different ways that we can be kind, different ways that we can try and stand up against bullying and to simply do what's right. And then, of course, the big thing with all of these weeks that we have for celebrations is to not let it stop there, to keep it going long after Week of Respect is done. We'll talk more about that as the week goes on. For right now, I wanted to start with this great book I found. I'm so excited to read it to you guys. From kindergartners through 4th graders, I think it's a very sweet book, and I hope that you all like it because I enjoyed reading it very much when I first found it. And I think it's a great book for the first day of Week of Respect because it kind of asks a very simple question. Let's see if we can figure out what that question is together. The book is called Be Kind, and it's written by Pat Zietlow Miller and illustrated by Jen Hill. So I got home the other day and I realized when I recorded myself reading the book to you, couldn't really hear it. So I know things look a little different than they did a moment ago, but I think we'll be able to roll with it. And I'm going to shoot it back to the other video at the end of our story. But for right now, let's start again. So the book is Be Kind, and it's written by Pat Zietlow Miller and illustrated by Jen Hill. Be kind. Tanisha spilled grape juice yesterday, all over her new dress. Everyone laughed. I almost did too, but Mom always tells me to be kind. So I tried. And if you look, this is our main character whose voice we're hearing right now. She's telling the story. I don't think it worked. I said, purple is my favorite color. I thought Tanisha would smile, but she ran into the hall instead. When she came back, snack time was over. She put on her art smock and didn't look at anyone. I almost told Tanisha that art was my favorite class, but I didn't want her to leave again. So I painted purple splotches and added some green until I had a bunch of beautiful violets. While I painted, I thought about Tanisha. Should I have handed her my napkin? Let her borrow my sweatshirt? Spilled my juice so everyone stared at me instead? What does it mean to be kind anyway? Maybe it's giving. Making cookies for Mr. Rinaldi, who lives alone. Or letting someone with smaller feet have my too tight shoes. He might win races in them too. Maybe it's helping. Putting dirty dishes in the sink. Or cleaning up after Otis, our class guinea pig. He is a messy eater. Maybe it's paying attention, telling Desmond I like his blue boots, or asking the new girl to be my partner. Listening to Aunt Franny's stories, even the ones I've heard before. Being kind should be easy, like throwing away a wrapper, or recycling a bottle, or saying thank you, or bless you when you hear someone sneeze. My mom says the quickest way to be kind is to use people's names. Hi, Kayla. What's new, Omar? Good afternoon, Rabbi Mandelbaum. Being kind can be hard too, even when you know what to do. Teaching someone something I'm good at is tricky, even when I'm patient. And sticking up for someone when other kids aren't kind is really hard and really scary. That page is really important for us, especially when we're talking about being an upstander. Sticking up for other people can be really hard, and it can be scary, and it can be uncomfortable. Maybe I can't solve Tanisha's grape juice problem. Maybe all I can do is sit by her in art class and paint this picture for her, because I know she likes purple too. Maybe I can only do small things, but my small things might join small things other people do. And together, they could grow into something big. So let's look at this page. If you look, you see that this woman dropped her ball of yarn, and that man called out to her to tell her that she left it and dropped it. And then it looks like she's teaching someone younger than her, maybe her granddaughter or niece or a neighbor, how to knit. And then that girl goes and gives someone else, looks like maybe a sweater or a scarf. So together, those small acts of kindness grew into something much bigger. They grew into something really big, so big that all of our kindness spills out of our school and spreads throughout town. So we have people doing kind acts all over this picture. I'm going to hold it up and see if you can figure out what some of those kind acts are. Did you catch a few? And those kind acts travel across the country and go all the way around the world. So if we look closely, we have people here welcoming home a veteran, making signs that say thank you for your service. And we have people down here who are making music and singing for one another. People helping each other when one falls, telling one another they dropped something, giving up their seat to someone who might need it more than us, helping someone who broke something. All these kind acts across the entire world, not just our town or even our country. And those kind acts went all the way around so that they came right back to Tanisha and me. So we can be kind again and again and again and again. of our story. And if you look, this last page has Tanisha, and she's hanging up a picture in her room. And if you remember, it's the violets that our main character was painting for her at the very beginning of the story. So I'm going to pass the story back to Mrs. Heffler at LPES, and she's going to talk to you a little bit more about the book. So I think one of the questions that this book asks is, what does it mean to be, did you say kind? I hope you said kind. What does it mean to be kind? And it talks about the different levels of kindness, right? It talks about how you can do a really small kind act. You could do a really huge kind act. And the important thing to remember is that even if we can only do something small, and in elementary school, maybe we can only do small acts of kindness, but those small acts can go on to have an even greater effect, because my small act combined with someone else's is going to keep growing and growing and growing, and eventually it's going to make a huge impact, a huge change in the world. And that's up to you guys. You're that change by doing something simple, like holding a door or using people's names when you talk to them. It feels good when people say your name when they're talking to you. It feels like you belong here. So my challenge for you this first day is, if you have time after this video is done, I know days can be a little tight here at LPES sometimes, but if you have time and your teacher allows it, try to have a discussion where you can come up with at least one thing, one real thing that you can do today, right now, right after I'm done with this video. What is something you can easily do by the time you go to sleep tonight? So don't raise your hand and say, I'm going to solve world hunger. That's probably going to be a very hard thing to accomplish. And maybe one day you can. And maybe one day your small act can help that happen. But for right now, I want you to really think of one thing that you can do. And hopefully as a class you can share and come up with not only one thing that you can do, but try to come up with things you can do in different places. What's one act of kindness you could do on the bus, or in the hallway, or in the cafeteria, or at home, or at the public library, or in the grocery store? What are things that we can do to start changing the world and to start showing respect to those around us? Because respect, it's really just another way of saying kindness. When we show respect, we're showing kindness. So, go back to your class, talk to one another, and try and brainstorm with some fantastic ideas that you can do to celebrate Week of Respect. All right, my friends, I will be back tomorrow with another fun, hopefully exciting tale for you, and another great way for us to celebrate Week of Respect together.